On today's episode of Let's Talk Drones, we are taking a look at the camera performance on board the DJI Air 3S. We'll be talking a little bit about the spec sheet for the camera. I'll be sharing with you my takes and opinions on the camera's performance on an individual basis for the Air 3S, and I'll be addressing some of the very valid and good points some of you brought up in my previous video where Sam Karp and myself compared the Air 3S's camera system to that of the DJI Mavic 3 Classic. Let's not waste any more time. Let's talk drones. What's up? It's Chris, the Drone Geek, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Drones. Let's Talk Drones is brought to you by The Droning Company. Check them out online at thedroningcompany.com. Get subscribed to their social media platforms, including YouTube. Check them out, thedroningcompany.com, and across all major social media platforms. Before I get too far into this video, you may have already noticed I'm not feeling great. I sound off. I've got some sort of a chest cold or chest infection, and so it's very difficult for me to talk without feeling the need to cough. So bear with me. I wanted to get this video out sooner than later, and that meant having to just sort of muscle through this sickness and do the video the best that I possibly can. The reason I wanted to get this video out is I don't want to get too far away from the initial release date of the Air 3S before I do this video, because camera performance is really one of the most important aspects in this category of drone at this price point. You want to make sure you're finding the best balance between price and camera performance, and I truly believe the DJI Air 3S delivers on that. So apologies in advance for me sounding terrible, me maybe taking a little bit of extra time to articulate things. I am just not feeling good. I may not look very good. Again, sorry in advance. I just really wanted to get this video out before too long. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's take a look at the camera specs for the Air 3S. I'm not going to dwell too long on the camera specs sheet just because this is information that has been widely known for about 2.5 weeks now, but we will just go ahead and give you a refresher here. We did get an upgraded wide angle sensor. We went from 1/1.3 inches in the DJI Air 3 to a 1-inch CMOS sensor for the wide angle camera on the DJI Air 3S. That camera has a 24mm focal length equivalent. The upper camera, the telephoto camera, stayed the same as its predecessor, the DJI Air 3. The Air 3S has a 1/1.3-inch CMOS sensor for a 70mm focal length equivalent. It's capable of shooting 12-megapixel native photos. When you're in telephoto mode, though, when you're shooting at 4:3, the camera can shoot up to 50 megapixels, and when you're shooting 16:9, it can shoot 48 megapixels via the in-camera processing. It shoots both RAW and JPEG formats with the ability to shoot both at the same time, so you get a version of each for every shot that you take. Its max video resolution is 4K at 60 frames per second or 2.7K at 60 frames per second in portrait mode via a digital crop. Its maximum bitrate is 130 megabits per second at both H.264 and H.265, and the video color profiles it shoots in are normal, HLG, and the ever-flexible D-Log-M. Now that we've touched on the camera specs and brought you up to speed if you weren't already there, let's talk about my takes, my opinions on the performance of the Air 3S. First and foremost, I found that the photos and videos coming right off of the camera of the Air 3S were too digitally sharp. This can be adjusted in post-production for both photos and videos, or for only video, you can adjust the sharpness and noise reduction settings in the DJI Fly app. All you have to do is go to the General Settings tab, select Camera, and then there should be a couple of sliders that allow you to adjust the style of your image. If you want to change the settings in-app for your videos, I found the best balance I struck with setting sharpness to -2 and noise reduction to -1. I also found that the temperature profile of the Air 3S is much warmer than the traditional white balance scale typically indicates. I usually shoot around 5500 Kelvin for normal daylight conditions. That's in partial clouds to mostly sunny conditions, but in those conditions, at that temperature, I found the Air 3S was a little warm for my liking, and I like a cooler image to boot anyway, so you can imagine how overwhelmed I was with how warm the images were. Now, according to Billy Kyle, and after conducting my own tests, keeping his thoughts in mind, I would recommend, and I'm in the same boat as him, setting your white balance around 500 Kelvin less than what you normally like to keep it at a reasonably true to form temperature. Now, the next problem has to do with a little bit of color or tint-related noise. I did find in certain settings and scenarios that there was some magenta and green noise that was present, especially in surfaces that had complex patterns. If we take a look at this particular shot that I got, you'll see here that this roof is a metal roof and it's got this weird grid to it. And when I just shot the photo straight out of the camera, you'll see we've got this really weird magenta and green banding up and down the roof pattern. Now, this is somewhat easily remedied. If you have a program like Lightroom Classic or Lightroom, you can use the denoise AI tool, and it will, for the most part, take care of this odd noise that comes from the magenta and greens in this odd pattern. As soon as I ran it through the denoise, I had no issues at all, but it is something to be mindful of, especially if you plan on using the images directly off the camera system and you don't want to do any type of production or editing after the fact. That said though, the photos are extremely crisp and clear overall. What I really liked about the photos from the Air 3S is that they had vivid colors that require very little adjustment when it comes to vibrance and saturation. I found myself really only bumping those sliders up in Lightroom just by a few points compared to what I had done with my Mavic 3 and other drones. The 12 megapixel photos are my preferred method of shooting as they offer more flexibility when editing in Lightroom. I did like the 50 megapixel and 48 megapixel photos respectively, but after seeing this processing in the Air 3 and now seeing it again in the Air 3S, I'm not so certain this is necessary. Sure, it gives you higher resolution right off the camera, but that comes at the cost of taking some of the creative freedom you have in post to make adjustments and changes to the raw photo data. I was not pleased with the panorama stitching in camera that the Air 3S offered. This is not exclusive to the Air 3S or really even any camera product that shoots auto-stitched panoramas. Sometimes they just don't line up. I was expecting more from the intelligent processing on board the drone, but in the 180-degree panorama mode, I still ended up with several photos that had misalignments similar to the one you are seeing now. Not a deal breaker, but certainly still discouraging this far along the line for DJI. Moving on from photos, I have to say that the video from the Air 3S is maybe my favorite part of this drone. Despite a lower than expected 130 megabits per second bitrate, 4K video off of the Air 3S is clean, smooth, and extremely high in overall detail. This is video that I would venture to say is usable in larger format projects, but is certainly more than you would need for anything being viewed on a smaller screen. D-Log M offers an incredible amount of flexibility in post without being completely washed out like true D-Log is. While this may not mean much to somebody well-versed in color grading, it is a huge advantage to intermediate color graders and people just learning how to edit videos. As a personal note, I found that D-Log M on the Air 3S complemented the S-Cinetone profile of my Sony FX30 in terms of how easy they were to integrate into a project together without getting too far down a color grading rabbit hole. And while all of that is good and dandy and overall my favorite part of the Air 3S is the video, I was disappointed in the overall lack of higher resolution video output. I came to grips with this reality when I saw leaks of the lower than expected bitrate on the Air 3S. Trying to record 5K at 130 megabits per second is not impossible by any stretch, but it would fall well short of the 5.1K on board the Mavic 3. The 4K is great, so I'm not too upset, but seeing something in 5K or even pushing 6K would have been a cool nod to the Air 2S. If you want to cut through all of my takes and you just want to know what my preferred camera settings are for photo and video with the Air 3S, here they are. For photo, I shoot in a 4:3 aspect ratio in 12 megapixel mode. This gives me optimal flexibility when editing in Lightroom or Lightroom Classic. I always shoot in RAW. I find that shooting in RAW and JPEG, I don't usually use the JPEGs right off the camera. They're still great quality, but I like to go in and edit my photos the way that I like them. I shoot with my ISO set between 100 and 800 depending upon conditions. My shutter speed is dependent entirely on conditions and the style in which I want to shoot. My ND filter choice is dependent upon ambient conditions. When it comes to video, I shoot almost exclusively at that maximum 4K resolution, and frame rate, it depends upon the needs of the project. I really like to shoot at 60 frames per second because that gives me optimal flexibility when it comes to speeding up or slowing down the footage. If you've got 60 frames per second, it's going to be nice and smooth no matter what you do to the footage, and you can always export 60 frames per second at a lower frame rate. It looks a little weird when you do it the other way around, but there are instances where I will bring that frames per second back to around 30 and sometimes 24 frames per second. Now, I almost exclusively shoot in D-Log M as well. Sometimes I will shoot in normal color profile for videos like this where I want you to see what it looks like right out of the camera, but I really do like to have maximum flexibility when I'm editing. So the ability to actually shoot in D-Log M and then color grade my footage how I see fit is very attractive to me. I shoot with an ISO between 400 and 1600. In the past, I would have said 400 to 800, but DJI's image processing has come a long way. And now you can shoot at a little bit higher of an ISO, especially with that 1-inch sensor, without introducing too much noise. Not to mention, there are a ton of video denoise AI tools out there that give you a natural looking image when it comes to denoising it and removing unwanted noise. My shutter speed is always double that lower denominator, that lower level in that fraction, 1 over whatever it is. It's always double what my frame rate is. So if I'm shooting at 60 frames per second, I always shoot at 120 frames per second, unless there's a very special circumstance where they're looking for a particular look, more motion blur, less motion blur. But it's always wise when you want to get that natural looking motion blur to double that bottom number in that shutter speed fraction from your frame rate. So if you're shooting at 60 frames per second, that number should be 120. If you're shooting in 30 frames per second, it should be 60, and so on. When it comes to ND filters, this is again dependent upon ambient conditions and what we're trying to accomplish with the look of the video when it comes to motion blur and exposure. Now, let's address some of the very valid input that you provided in our previous video where myself and Sam Karp compared the Air 3S to the Mavic 3 Classic. First, I want to start by saying I appreciate overall how well everybody did providing feedback in the most respectful way possible. Most of you gave feedback that was pretty reasonable, and overall, I liked the way that you presented it. Now, I'm a huge advocate of free speech. What I'm not an advocate for is being a I don't like that at all, and that's how you get hidden from my channel very, very quickly. I'm not somebody that shies away from that. If you are just being a moron for the sake of being a moron and you're being mean-spirited for the sake of being mean-spirited, you're out of here. Sorry, I don't have time for that. I don't want that weighing on me in any way, shape, or form. I'm only here to have constructive conversations overall. I will taunt, I will play, I will banter, but when you start to get to a certain point in how you address me or you address other people in the comments, I got to get you out of here. Now, let's talk about the main 3 pieces of feedback that I received from you. Now, I've paraphrased all of these, but in a general sense, the ideas that I'm presenting here were echoed by at least a few commenters in the comments section. First of all, a smaller sensor will always lead to decreased image quality. There's no way you can reasonably say you like the Air 3S's quality more than the Mavic 3's. While I will concede that having a larger camera sensor is a key factor in the overall image quality output by these camera systems, you have to think about all of the smaller format camera systems put out over the last 10 years. I'm not just talking about drones. Talk about cell phones, talk about consumer digital cameras, talk about professional digital cameras. You're seeing manufacturers put out these camera systems that don't always have the biggest in-class sensors, but they continue to put out reliably consistent image quality that really exceeds expectations. In-camera processing is more important than it's ever been before, and the Air 3S is an example of that. Now, I'm not saying the Air 3S blows the Mavic 3 out of the water. It's really close, but I really do stand on the fact that I believe the Air 3S does way more with less than the Mavic 3. Yes, the Mavic 3 shoots a higher video resolution. Yes, it's got a higher bit rate. But when you look at the overall image quality of the Air 3S with a smaller sensor, with a lower bit rate, with lower max resolution, I think the quality does more than the Mavic 3's. That's my opinion. Take it or leave it. The lower bit rate is an automatic disqualifier for this drone being better than the Mavic 3. Again, not entirely true when you look at the grand scheme of processing an image from a camera. There are so many factors that play into this, including maximum resolution, including overall sensor size, and the number of frames recorded per second. These factors combined with the overall bitrate combined together determine the overall quality of the images being output by the camera system. So yes, while the Air 3S isn't collecting as much data as quickly as the Mavic 3, I think it's more efficient than the Mavic 3 when you consider all of the components involved in that process. And finally, and maybe my biggest gripe with the feedback that we received in that last video, resolution is the only thing that matters in video. This is entirely not true. If you are a resolution freak and you think the only thing that matters in video is the overall resolution and how much you get out of the camera, you are wrong and you're living in fantasy land. I'm here to tell you why. First and foremost, there are several cases, just look them up out on the internet, of movie studios, Hollywood movie studios, high-profile videographers and filmmakers using camera systems as recent as just 5 years ago that had a maximum resolution of 1080p. That's just standard high definition. Not 4K, not 5K, not 6K, not 8K, heck, not even 2.7K. 1080p. And if you've watched this channel for any length of time, or really just any drone YouTuber out there that gets drones from a variety of manufacturers, you'll know that the drone industry, especially the consumer section of the drone industry, is guilty of advertising photo and video drones that shoot 4K and really ends up being a drone that has a glorified web camera on board on a gimbal system that is really like 480p, maybe in a best case scenario 720p, upscaled to 2.7K or 4K depending upon the manufacturer. More resolution does not always mean a better image. That's it. If you shot on those same drones that I just cited at 4K and compared them to the Mini 4 Pro shooting at 1080p, I guarantee you'll pick the Mini 4 Pro every single time, despite the fact the resolution is lower overall. My point being, you can't just look at resolution, max resolution, and immediately know that it's better than another camera system. There are so many factors that play into that and so many unknowns when you're just looking at the spec sheets on paper. Overall, the DJI Air 3S is the drone that we wanted, is the drone that we were expecting when the Air 3 dropped, and really is the drone that a lot of people will purchase and be happy with for years to come. When it comes to the camera sensor, we have a lot more videos to do on the Air 3S when it comes to its different KPIs, key performance indicators. We're going to be doing an endurance test where I look at the total flight time over 3 flights, take those together and average them and see if they meet the expectations as per DJI marketing. We will play with signal penetration. I haven't figured out how we're going to do that yet. We're not doing a range test. I'm staying away from those from now on, but we will look at signal penetration in some way, shape, or form. And then eventually I'll take a look at some other factors as well, including intelligent flight modes, the LiDAR sensor on board, obstacle avoidance, etc. What do you think though? Let me know down in the comments below. Do you like the camera system on the Air 3S? Why or why not? If you like this video, hit the thumbs up icon down below. Helps me out a lot, helps get this video out into the algorithm to more viewers like yourself. If you really love this video and you love drone content shot by drones, about drones, and for drone pilots, my friend, this is the channel for you. Make sure you get subscribed if you haven't already. Hit the bell icon if you haven't. You'll get a notification every time I post a new video. Until next time, I'm Chris the Drone Geek. I'm gonna go take a nap. I'm out of here. See ya.